It's the best station, period.
Let's be honest. These guys have the best job on the planet.
You come to work in a frickin' bathrobe?
So if you're out there working hard, you should also expect your radio hosts to put in an honest day's work. So of course, Jake and Ben are live at 5 with the biggest headlines and the best analysis in Utah. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. It's time for Live at 5, brought to you by our friends at Trajan Wealth. Call Trajan today, your local trusted financial fiduciary, 855-TRAJAN-1, or visit their website at TrajanWealth.com. Really, the biggest stories of the day, Ben, surround college football as camps open basically next week. I think Utah's on show up on Sunday, start on Monday.
Yeah.
And is BYU the same? I'm not sure. They haven't officially said yet. But college sports continue to be the biggest story nationally, Ben. And really, I thought Tim and Scotty G did a good job covering the lead up to some of the legislation coming out of the Senate, and they're setting deadlines for the Big Ten and the SEC to come to some sort of agreement if this legislation is going to indeed pass the Senate before they go on break. John Wilner of the San Jose Mercury News was on with those guys. He expected we should know if they do come to an agreement tonight, this afternoon. Mm-hmm. And as of right now, there's been nothing.
Right.
So the odds of this particular legislation passing at all after the break are basically none.
Yeah.
So the legislation currently in the Senate might be dead if the SEC and the Big Ten can't agree on some way to proceed.
Mm-hmm. Ted Cruz has even been on social media today, trying to sell it.
Yep.
Trying to put it out there, which is a little unique. Not that this happens with a lot of bills. It's the first time it feels like it's really happened with this bill.
They're trying to get it over the hump.
Trying to get over the hump.
I don't think it's gonna. Well, I don't think it's going to happen unless they completely strip it down. And it doesn't sound like what's her first name? Cantwell, the Democrat. Maria. It sounds like that part of the deal was really what she was on board with, the regulation. And she's actually specifically kind of gone at the SEC and the Big Ten. Mm-hmm. All that stuff, all that part, where they're going to limit how much the conferences can expand, and they're going to do salary caps, and that stuff is really important to her. Uh-huh. So I don't know why the SEC or the Big Ten would get on board unless they strip it down, but it doesn't sound like anybody wants to strip it down, and so do nothing, predictably, looks to be the course that has been chosen.
Again, not to be political, I'm not trying to be at all, but this is inherently the problem that people have with government, which is none of these people really know anything about college football. So why are they the ones governing it? The reason they're the ones governing it is because this body as a whole won't govern itself. So the only place to go, which is the ultimate authority, is to the top, is the government. It's that's the flaw of the system. Somebody needs to govern it. The people who should won't. So you do have to go to the next level, and those people just don't really know enough about how to do it to create an accurate bill. That's, I think, the flaw that we're running into and why nothing's going to get passed.
I would hope the people that wrote it know what they're talking about.
I would certainly hope so.
Because these senators aren't writing it themselves. Cody Campbell.
They're sitting down with people.
Cody Campbell has written a significant portion of this legislation. So The problem is that the NCAA was defanged, and now they can't do anything because of antitrust. And there's no antitrust exception for the SEC or for the NCAA, so they don't have any.
Right.
They don't have any authority. So either you have to write laws, or you have to collectively bargain, and then all the antitrust stuff goes away. Well, there's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through to even be able to collectively bargain. Uh-huh. That would take forever and might be illegal because there's universities involved. Uh-huh. So you might have to change laws anyway. Or you write, which this is the weird part, honestly, and we haven't talked really about this, or you write the rules of college football into U.S. law, which is
insane.
Which is pretty wild.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when the NCAA is basically deemed illegal is that now who is then the governing body over college sports? Not just college football, but college sports.
I am glad that when Jazz fans complain about Michael Jordan pushing off, they don't cite a law of the U.S. government saying, see, it says you don't get to push Brian Russell on his hip. We don't want that. I promise you, you don't want that.
You don't want the NBA salary cap written into U.S. law.
I don't want that.
No.
At all.
It seems a little unnecessary.
I want regulation in college football. Really, I do. I really badly want it. I don't necessarily want it at that level. I just wish there was a body that would enforce it itself.
But that's like the only option. That's the hard part.
Right, that's exactly the problem. I wish everybody offered everyone health care, every business. They wouldn't, so the government stepped in. And then rightfully so, all these small businesses were like, what are you talking about? I can't do what you're telling me I have to do now. Like, both sides were very legitimate in that problem.
Uh-huh.
That's very real. Again, if you're at Southern Utah, SUU, or let's say New Mexico, D1, you should want some regulation. How am I ever supposed to compete with anybody else with the current system? I think that's totally fair, but somebody else steps in and doesn't actually know how to address the issues. Again, it's the problem that I think we're going to run into with this bill and why I don't have any faith that a bill is ever going to get passed.
I'm just annoyed that our political process is waiting for the word of, what's his name, Bowlesby.
Uh-huh.
Or I don't even know who the Big Ten commissioner is now. You'd have to give me a second to remember it.
Yeah,
but,
you would.
But you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It is a little alarming that those people have that amount of power. But the truth is, unless the SEC commissioner signs off on it.
Petitti.
Oh, Petitti. Tony Petitti, yeah. Unless the SEC commissioner signs off on it, no senator from the South is voting for that.
Correct.
Which is wild that Bob Bowlesby, right, would even have that kind of power in the United States.
Yep.
That's crazy. So we're waiting for these commissioners to negotiate what they can and can't live with, and that's holding up the U.S. Senate?
Uh-huh.
That seems ridiculous. And especially some of the commissioners who I've interacted with personally, it's really alarming that those people would have that kind of that kind of lead.
That kind of power.
I've never interviewed Bowlesby, but I've interviewed Larry Scott.
Correct. Yep.
And that a commissioner of a conference could be holding up the U.S. Senate is a bit alarming.
Yeah. I would suspect there's a lot of people in Congress that are not all that different from Larry Scott, though.
Probably not.
Unfortunately.
The other big story in college football is Big Ten Media Days,
Yeah.
which is going on. Do we know where they're doing this? Chicago.
Yeah.
That's probably where I'd pick in their footprint. I mean, I'd pick Vegas for everything, but
Sure.
in their footprint, I'd probably go Chicago.
I can't even remember what the Big Ten footprint is now.
Oh, well,
know
it's
what it is.
huge.
It's everywhere.
It covers basically the northern half of United States and then also Southern California somehow.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Yeah, you can go to L.A. I'd go to L.A. right now.
Probably would go to LA.
Yeah.
That's probably the correct move. Go do it at the Fox studio like we used to.
Right.
But Kyle Whittingham did have his turn going through the car wash at Media Days today. And he said many things at the podium. But here's this clip of Whit talking about taking over a scandal-ridden program.
Welcome to the Big Ten. Michigan has had some issues in the past 2 to 3 years with coaches and scandals. Do you believe that you're under a limelight?
Good question. I mean, it's reality. There has been a lot of drama, as I mentioned before. We hope that we've come to the end of that and we're ready to proceed just with the business of playing football and winning football games and graduating players and putting the emphasis on things that should have the emphasis. But, there were some unfortunate things that happened. It's not my place to really speak out on it. I wasn't there. I was not involved. But I can tell you right now, we've got a very hungry and willing group of players that have been nothing but have worked their tail off for the last 7 months and are eager to get the season started. And they've got very good leadership as well. And so I'm just excited to, make the first thing first, which is graduating and winning football games.
Okay, there's one piece of Witt's statement from today, or his Q&A. He also had this, talking about, oh, you don't have it.
Well, let's talk about that clip.
Okay.
Because I think that clip I think it's funny because that is like such an old school square answer. And you're inheriting a mess, Coach Witt. What's that like? And he's like, "Oh, I'm just worried about graduating players and playing football." It's like such a funny, square answer. And I couldn't help but thinking, you know what Witt should do, honestly? He should cheat his brains out.
Sure.
He should cut every corner because everybody thinks he's such a straight arrow. He could come and cheat like crazy. Nobody would even suspect it. You know what I mean?
Yes, and he's only going to be there for a couple of years, so who cares?
So why not?
On your way out the door, who cares?
I don't even know what is cheating anymore.
Yeah,
but
just get your money.
Hire Connor Stallions back, throw a mustache on him, and get him out to film some practice.
What I like about what Witt said there, and I agree with him, is the drama that he is mentioning, and he won't say legal issues, that he won't. It doesn't have anything to do with the players. That's good. It's not a bunch of kids getting in trouble. It's not, and again, it's so funny now to look back at it, but the Ohio State players trading helmets for tattoos or whatever it was, and do we need to suspend everybody, or Reggie Bush or Cam Newton, or the issues of the players? It was all the coaches. It was all the adults in the room making mistakes for Michigan, which should make it ideally easier for Witt to clean up. Those guys are out. The players are there. They should be excited to play for a pro, and Witt's he's a pro. Witt is a pro's pro. He knows how to do this stuff. Witt will go in. Now, look, Witt wants to win. Witt doesn't just want to run a clean program. That's not his goal. But I think Witt is naturally going to run a clean program. I don't, unfortunately, think that's what he's going to be judged on. And the clip I was hoping we had also, I apologize, was that I think he's actually going to be judged on, quote unquote, the game and how he does against Ohio State. Because that's what you get judged on as the head coach at Michigan. Do you beat Ohio State? Do you win the game? It's the most famous game in college football. Are you going to have an opportunity to win it? And if you get blasted or lose the first two, even if they're close, I don't think it's going to matter that he ran a clean program. To your point, what would fans rather have? A clean program that wins 7 games or a dirty program that beats Ohio State? The truth is a dirty program that beats Ohio State. Michigan has ruled as an athletic department for the last couple of years. They've got a basketball championship. Got a football championship. That's what you want. That's what fans want. Now, I'm not saying fans want cheaters. I don't think fans want dirty players. And you certainly don't want what Sharon Moore was doing. But do you think fans in Michigan are all that mad about Connor Stallions? They're probably like, oh, well, good. Glad they're trying to figure out what the other team's doing. They're happy they're not giving the championship back.
Well, they should be mad because that was an unintelligent way to cheat. But yeah.
Sure, absolutely. Not the best way to cheat.
No.
But they're happy to have their title. Witt is going to be judged. Witt's going to run a clean program. That I'm confident in. I don't know if Witt's going to beat Ohio State. In fact, I would bet against it, and that's going to be what undoes him, not whether or not he runs a cleaner program than Sharon Moore or Harbaugh.
Yeah, they're in kind of a weird spot, though, where they don't have a president, and they just are getting rid of their AD, and it did get kind of bad.
But that doesn't help Witt. Because who's the new AD gonna? What does every new AD want to do?
None of it does help Witt, but like the cheating can bring on badness elsewhere. You know what I mean? Like there's a reason that Witt being a straight arrow was appealing to them because they do need to clean it up.
Yes, they do.
You know what I mean? I'm joking about Witt should just go out there and cheat, but it is true. They do need to clean it up. I mean, in the same way that Utah State's bad behavior over an extended period of time got them investigated by the Department of Justice. Mm-hmm. Like you don't want any of that. So yeah. I mean, I do think it matters. I do think it matters. I'm not disagreeing with you that run a clean program and lose. He's still going to lose his job. But if they hired the next Sharon Moore or the next a coach that was going to have the behavior of Jim Harbaugh, things could go from bad to worse.
They could not have hired who's your guy at LSU, Lane Kiffin.
Yeah,
I don't think they could have hired Lane.
No, no.
But the truth is, and again, I think this is bad for Witt. It's easier to run a clean program than it is to beat Ohio State, which means there's a lot of candidates out there that can do, if that's the bare minimum or that's the bar, there's a lot of coaches who can run a clean program. If Witt can't beat Ohio State, they're going to go look for somebody who can beat Ohio State. again, that's what's going to end up mattering more, because I think you just assume most people will run a clean program. Now, your last two guys didn't. That was on you. Not enough oversight. Athletic director obviously was willing to let it happen and pass the buck, or, turn the other cheek. He didn't care. Turn a blind eye to it all. I think you can find guys who run a clean program. What's going to be most important to them is, do they beat Ohio State in the game on the 12th game of the season every year, or more often than not? And that's what they're going to be judged by.
What do you think if I got hired as their next Connor Stallions, what do you think that pays? I'd put on a mustache and go secretly videotape stuff.
Well, sadly, as you and I have learned, and has always been the case, there are enough people who would quite literally die for these programs that Connor Stallions probably paid money to do this. I'll fly myself out. I'll buy this guy's. No doubt Connor Stallion paid for his own fake mustache.
You think? Yes. I don't know. That's one of the stupid Netflix docs that I haven't watched. I can't bring myself to watch the Connor. I can't bring myself to watch Netflix soft pedal the Connor Stallions thing. Like, excuse it. You know what I mean?
The guy who set up the camera for the Patriots to film, who was it? Whose Super Bowl or practice walkthrough did they film?
Was it the Jets? I think it was the Jets.
Oh, they filmed the Jets?
I think so.
Why? That's like, again, it's Nixon rigging Watergate. You were going to win the election. What were you worried about Watergate? Why were you bugging that building that you had the election wrapped up? What are you worried about, losing to the Jets? Patriots? What are you doing there? I thought it wasn't the Super Bowl. They weren't filming a Super Bowl practice. Okay.
Yeah, specific teams named in investigation. New York Jets.
Okay. Moronic.
That's the team that triggered the official Spygate thing.
Because giving them too much credit for thinking it was actually a game that mattered.
Because the Jets noticed and they complained about it.
Okay. Was it like in the AFC Championship game? Or was it just like game 4?
No, it's just like a normal game. Yeah.
Okay.
Belichick is a sick person.
Yeah, division rivals, right, but not even like in a high.
No.
Not the random Matt Sanchez has them mattering for the first time.
I don't
ever.
think so.
Okay,
Mark Sanchez.
Mark Sanchez. What did I say? Matt Sanchez, former Jazz social media manager.
I remember Matt. Good guy.
Mark Sanchez. Pardon me. I've rewritten that in my
Mark
brain.
Sanchez, kind of a bad guy.
Apparently.
Matt Sanchez, super good guy.
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez,
bad guy.
kind of a bad guy. I don't think Matt Sanchez has beaten up any grease trap operators.
Not that I know of. But there are people who will do anything to be around these sports teams. And I suspect Connor Stallions is one of these people.
Throw on that stupid mustache,
Whatever you
Connor.
need, coach.
Go get him.
Aye, aye.
Yikes.
It's the your favorite movie from your favorite actor, Adam Sandler, and Happy Gilmore. It's the guy who's yelling at Adam Sandler from the boat. You jackass!
Uh-huh.
That guy thinks he's friends with Shooter McGavin.
Right.
It's like, I'll do anything for you, Shooter. Let's go get lunch. And Shooter's like, yeah, maybe. That's who Connor Stallions is. So, unfortunately, I get where you're coming from. How much money do you get paid? The sad truth is it's zero.
Like, I'll go spy on somebody for a couple $100. Sure.
Yeah, yes, we all would.
Put on a hat and blend in.
But the problem is, people will do it at their own. They'll pay they'll foot their own bill to get there.
Who was SU's rival at the time you were there, Christian?
Utah Tech.
Did you spy on him?
Me, no.
Oh. Why not? That's not even that far of a drive.
Well, they had maybe somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right. I just wondered if he was that into the Thunderbirds, you know?
We have known people, no one currently working in media, thankfully, that would have gladly paid their way to go cheat for either the University of Utah or BYU.
Probably.
Not probably. Absolutely. Absolutely. But they're not in the business anymore.
All right, we'll have more next. Stay tuned. Jake and
Anything
Ben.
you say, Coach.
97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Probably shouldn't be saying this as a sports radio host because it's the single best topic you can have. But I will say it's kind of nice that neither Utah or BYU have a quarterback controversy at all. We're going into the season. We know exactly who the starters are. We're more than a month out from games. There's no conversation about it over the summer at all. There was a little bit of would Bear follow Kalani? Would Devin Dampier and Warbird follow Witt to Michigan? once that was put to rest and it's like, yeah, Utah has their quarterbacks. That's what the face of these teams are going to be. And we talked to Steve Bartle earlier in the show. It's like, as much as, look, the offensive line's going to matter, the defensive line's going to matter, Utah's secondary, all these things. How good Bear Bachmeier and Devin Dampier are is the key piece for both Utah and BYU.
It's going to make for a boring camp.
It's going to make for a boring camp. You're exactly right. So that's why I'm saying I probably shouldn't say this as a sports radio host, because quarterback controversies, I was reading about Arizona State today and when they want to name their quarterback and who they, how soon they want it done. And then I was thinking, oh, yeah, there's the charade of how early they want to name the quarterback and then how early they actually want the name of that quarterback to come out. I credit Kalani. We were like, is it going to be Bear? Who's it going to be? And they were like, yeah, they named Bear like 2 weeks before the opening game. I thought good for them, and Bear obviously was the right guy for the job. But I don't know how Arizona State's going to approach that. We don't have to worry about it with Utah or BYU.
Where is Warbird coming from? I haven't heard that. Is that a you thing, or is that a... and hey, we like nicknames on this show.
Did I say Warbird?
Yeah, talk about Bird Ficklin.
I think I said Orbird.
I heard Warbird.
I might have, but I think I said Orbird.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Or was going to say whether or not or something.
I thought you were throwing a new nickname at us.
Warbird is a cool name. You're exactly right. I worry it's a little too close to War Eagle, and that would...
Yeah.
But no, I just mean bird.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I
sorry.
was like, are we breaking in a new nickname
Warbird.
on the show?
I just
That's
dropping
fine.
it in. That would've been
Warbird? I can get on board. I'll call him the Warbird.
You are the Donald Trump of the show, where you have good nicknames for people. I don't have good nicknames, but you can drop, what was it, Sleepy Jeb? What was the name? No, Sleepy Joe.
Yeah.
And then...
Oh, Low Energy Jeb. That was the funniest
Jeb.
one.
It ruined his political life.
He was done after that.
Yeah, say what you want about the president. That's a really funny thing to be able to do, is give someone a nickname so bad it ruins their political career, especially from one of the the strongest legacy families we've had in the last 50 years in our country. Having a nickname so good.
Everyone assumed. Remember, everybody assumed he'd be the nominee too.
Oh,
then
it
he
was
gets
locked
hit with
up.
Low Energy Jeb, and it's over.
It's over in a week. No, you're better at nicknames than I am.
I like the Warbird, though.
Warbird's good. We can call him Warbird.
And now it has an origin story, which I think is kind of funny.
Accidentally called him Warbird.
Yeah.
We will see how much Bird plays. But yes, Dampier, looking at Utah's schedule, we've talked so much about Texas Tech's softy cake schedule.
Uh-huh.
Look, man, Utah's schedule is not exactly murderer's row. I
No,
don't think
all the Pac-12 schedules or Pac-12, Big 12 schedules are easy because there's a zillion teams and most of them suck.
Utah and BYU is a big game. Utah at Arizona is a very huge game. If Arizona's good, they might not be. But Iowa State might be the worst team in the country this year. Utah goes on the road. That's their first road game. That should be relatively winnable. You get a bye week, then you play Kansas. You should smoke Kansas. Colorado should be awful. We'll see. Houston at home. We'll see if Houston actually can live up to the hype on October 24th. That's a big one. At Cincinnati could be tricky. Home against BYU again. That's the big one. But if you're Utah, and Utah was very close last year. They only lost 2 games. They lost to BYU by 3 points in a very good game. Utah finds a way to kind of flip that switch, flip that game, because now they're playing at Rice Eccles. I know they didn't win the last time they played BYU at Rice Eccles. Utah can easily go to the Big 12 title game this year because they've got a good player in Devin Dampier, and the rest of the schedule stinks. You can lose a game or two and still make it to the Big 12 title game. So that's what's going to matter. It's nice that both of these teams, as much as they have question marks, BYU at receiver, we'll see how the linebackers play, should be good. Utah at receiver always, head coach, etc. They should be good teams again. They should be double-digit win teams, I think.
Can I dramatically change the subject on you for 1 sec?
Do.
No. I just saw this story, and we've got voicemails coming up, so I didn't. This is one of those I'd forget about. But tell me if I'm wrong about this, okay? Holly Rowe made national news today.
Okay.
Which I like Holly, by the way, but I'm going to bring up the story. She bought tickets to the 28 LA Olympics. Mm-hmm. She paid for one event, she paid $3,000. And then noticed that service fee was $793, bringing her total charge up to over $4,000.
Okay.
And she was tweeting, complaining about it. And now I found a story with her complaints. No offense to Holly. Well, let me put it this way. Complaining about surcharges on tickets is so 2019. The first thing I thought of when I saw her complain about this is a woman who hasn't bought a ticket to anything in a very long time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, yes, those surcharges are outrageous. But you know how long outrageous surcharges have been around? I feel like that's a tweet that you would have looked at pre-Taylor Swift Eras Tour. You know what I mean? And Holly, who I do like, because of her job, probably hasn't actually purchased a ticket in years. I don't think you can be the person pioneering the crusade against surcharge fees for tickets. Does that make sense? Christian can complain about that. Holly Rowe cannot.
But even then, Christian can't be surprised by it because, yes, this has been egregious. You and I used to buy tickets. I mean, you've seen 311, 15 years in a row or whatever.
Zillion times, yeah.
The first time you bought this ticket, you're like $30.
Uh-huh.
Now there's $50 in service fees on top of it. So, yes, you're right. This isn't new for anyone unless you haven't been buying tickets. Now, you can still be frustrated about it. In fact, there's several bills trying to get through Congress right now specifically to eliminate these like hidden fees, these service fees, these handling fees.
It's an old enough problem that even Congress has taken it up.
It's gotten that high.
Right. It's been around that long. And now, Holly, you can't act flabbergasted about service surcharge fees.
Our kids will run into this. We did it. The first time you get a paycheck and you're like, half my money's gone? You're like, yeah, that's taxes. The first time that happens, that's one thing. I think everyone, it's relatable. But yeah, no one can be surprised about service fees now. Sorry, Holly.
Yeah, no offense. I like Holly. Yeah. I just don't think this can be your cause.
I think that's totally fair.
And the cause has been around for a minute. But I do like the concept of Holly just now realizing that, wait, there's surcharges on tickets? What?
Especially for a sporting event. Because, she certainly is not buying tickets to sporting events.
Oh, she hasn't bought a ticket for years. Yeah,
no,
of course not.
No, maybe she's bought a ticket on Fandango for a movie ticket and was like, $4 to buy it online. That's extra. Whatever. Yes, an $800 fee on your $3,000 ticket for sporting events is why normal people, can't go to sporting events anymore.
All right. I changed gears, but I needed your opinion on that. Again, shout out to Holly, who I like.
And that's a good cause.
But I don't think it can be hers.
Yeah.
What other old cause? Maybe we'll throw this open to our voicemailers. Maybe we'll get to him tomorrow. What other old cause would it be funny to have somebody just out of the blue fighting for?
You know what I do have sympathy for? And this is recent for me because I've spent so much time at the doctor recently, and this happened to me again this morning. Actually, I've had to get blood draws twice this week, and it happened both times. And I feel bad. Because you go to the doctor, and it's not usually a bunch of 40-year-olds. It's usually a bunch of boomers, And I don't mean that term lovingly. Not.
Yeah, coming at them pretty good, huh?
It's the elderly population, and every single time, the place I go is like, did you upload your insurance card online? It's like, no, they don't know their email. They certainly don't know their email password. And if they did, you think they know how to get their Medicaid card digitally and then upload it to your specific portal? Are you insane? And they said they don't take the real card anymore. You have to upload it digitally. I thought, you're just trying to kill these people. You're just trying to stop elderly people from coming to this hospital. Because it makes zero sense that you would ask people on Medicaid to get online and upload their card at 85 years old.
And me at 45 years old.
Apparently in poor health.
Yeah.
Because I even have a hard time doing it. I didn't know how to get it to the girl who was asking to scan mine because ours are digital through I don't know if you get your insurance through KSL, but ours are digital. I don't have a hard card. Mine is digital. I had to give the girl my phone, and I don't know if you can scan a phone screen on the scanner. So I didn't know how to get it to her to prove that I have insurance. So I'm running into it as a relatively tech-savvy 40-year-old. So I feel bad for the 40 or the 80-year-olds trying to get their Medicaid card or whatever over. But to Holly Rowe's point, I think this process is flawed for a couple of different reasons.
Man, these surcharges are... Where did these come from? Good heavens. It's ludicrous. All right, we'll have voicemails coming up next. Stay tuned, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Your home for the best sports radio for your afternoon drive is right here. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Two niggas on their ways, talking sports. They got him Matrix and also loves his tie-dye. Ben's got style with his stars. Oh my.
Hey, this is for Jake and Ben. This is Brett in Chicago, and I just listened in the future to the podcast, and I love how I got a segment at the end of the 5 o'clock hour there. But yes, that was absolutely fake. I do work second shift, so I do get off at 2 a.m. So, not gonna lie, I did have a couple cocktails in me, but that was totally fake. I was just being a drunk Harry Carey, and thought we would get some laughs, which I think we did. So I appreciate you guys featuring that. And hey, you never know what's going to happen in the future, because I like that kind of stuff.
Like that?
Love listening to you guys. Peace.
Yes, Brett. We love you, Brett. Thank you.
We think he actually is from Chicago?
Can't you tell?
He did have a little of the Chicago thing
Sure,
going on.
but
All right, so that's the mystery.
we've heard several people fake Brooklyn accents in our lives.
So Brett,
Okay. Shout out Brett. Thank you.
Brett recorded what sounded like a drunken message, and we went through the mystery yesterday of whether or not it was actually a drunken message or just
Fake.
Brett making some funny audio. And there's our answer. But the real part of the mystery was because he sent it in at 3:20 a.m.
341?
or 3, was that what it was?
341. I thought.
341.
And so there you go. He works late shifts, so that totally makes sense.
This one came in at 1 a.m.
Did it? Okay, so that
This one's
totally
on
makes
the
sense.
job. He says he gets off at 2.
Hey, if you want to fake a drunk voicemail, bring it on. We laughed about it big time yesterday. Thanks, Brett.
I do love the technology of podcasting that you can download it anywhere and absorb the show in Chicago at 4 a.m. if you want to. I think that's truly incredible, and I really appreciate that anyone would do that, and then use the technology to call in and leave a voicemail for us, which I think is very cool.
Dude, I hope Brett gets off work and is just bored and starts sending us voicemails. You know what I mean?
You ever worked the graveyard?
Like permanently, or have I worked a graveyard shift?
I would assume you've worked a graveyard.
I've worked several graveyard shifts, but I've never been permanently on the graveyard.
Christian, you graveyard ever?
I never had a job that was like overnight. I mean, I've put some late nights in here. I mean, into the AM. Yeah, but
Did your wife ever have to as a nurse? Did she
oh
do
yeah, she
graveyards?
rotates every other month. Yep.
Still. It's brutal. Really tip your cap.
Okay.
Tip my cap too.
I had a roommate who worked overnights at a hotel. And tell me if this would anger you as much as it did me. So if you're working overnights, right, you can do one of two things. You can either get off work, come home and sleep, and then get up, have a day, and then go to work. Or you can get off work, come home, do nothing, sleep, and then wake up and go right to work. My roommate who worked the overnight shift would work the overnights. He would come home. He would do nothing the whole day while the house is empty. We're all out working jobs. When everybody starts coming home in the afternoon, my roommate went right to bed. And so while we're at home during normal hours, like
socializing hours,
5 to 10 or whatever, he had to be at work at 11, he's screaming at everybody to shut up so he could sleep.
Those aren't quiet hours.
It was like, dude.
Yeah, those aren't quiet hours.
You could come home and sleep all day while the house is empty. But instead, you watch TV all day and then go to bed at like 4.
I will tell you, I've worked graveyards. I worked at a hotel. I worked in the parking booth right across the street from where we are now, and worked graveyards for, I don't know if it was as long as a year. Maybe it was longer. I honestly can't remember now. The extra 75 cents an hour or $1.25 an hour is not worth the marriage it's probably going to cost you or whatever.
Oh, it's a lifestyle for sure. Yeah, it's a lifestyle
I hope
change.
Brett is single. I have no idea. But like, unless his wife doesn't work, there's just no really healthy way to do it unless you're like very mature as a couple of just like, we're never going to see each other and we're never going to be in the same mood as one another because yes, one of us is just getting off work and is tired and the other one's just going to work and is probably a little grumpy too, but you're never matching. Like, I bet you it's not ideal for you and your wife when she's working graveyards, Christian, and you're like, well.
Oh, Christian loves it, I'm sure.
There were times where I would straight up just not see her for like 3 days.
Yeah, right. It's
like,
not.
oh,
It's
okay.
really not ideal unless you get to a certain level of maturity in your marriage. It's hard to do as a young person, and the reason young people take the job is because you get a little bit more money. I mean, your wife's a nurse; they make you do it, right? But you take the graveyard shift because you can make a little bit more money. Mine was paltry at best.
By the way, Brett, I did catch the Harry Carey thing too.
Yeah.
He said he was going because
Those are Chicagoans,
I
that makes
pointed
sense.
that out to Christian at the beginning. I said I think this is fake because of the Harry Carey reference.
Now, Brett did say
Then he
he
had to
a few
explain to
cocktails.
me who Harry Carey is, but
Yeah.
Which shocks me. It still shocks me the people that I have to explain to Christian who they are.
But Brett did admit that he's been drinking, so.
Yeah, but not
well,
that
this
much.
isn't a DUI.
No. You can have a
I
couple.
wasn't accusing him of getting a DUI.
Well,
I'm
sorry.
just
I
saying
mean,
calling
like,
it a
it's like the
buzz.
Tony Romo video that's going around right now. He's like, oh, yeah, anyway.
I used to do some post-game shows well into the AMs, and we would have one caller that loved to call in and was always obliterated.
Oh, yeah.
Always obliterated drunk, calling in, celebrating a win or
ranting
sad
about a
it.
loss. Yeah. All right, stay tuned.
It's the
6
best
o'clock hour.
radio.
Thanks again, Brett, for sending that in. We appreciate it. Send a voicemail anytime. If you want to send a voicemail, download the KSL Sports app. Go to the voicemail link. Say it's for Jake and Ben, and hit send. Stay tuned. More next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.